Okay, we're connected. We're gonna call Cam right now.
Yes, yes.
What's up, my brother? You're kind of pensive tonight.
You can hear that?
Pensive.
Pensive. I noticed in a listening
Well,
demeanor.
Yes, sir.
what's going on, man?
Killer. We gotta give you a round of applause first. Hold on.
In a pleasure, man.
Yo, man, thanks for calling in. Hey, I had Teddy Riley on for 3 hours.
Man, listen, first of all, I want to apologize. I rushed up the house today and forgot this phone in the house, so I'm a little late. I apologize, man.
Hey, it works out though. We got you. We got you.
Yeah,
Hey, this is just as satisfying because what we ended up doing was saluting your catalog, and I've been just constantly talking about how unique you've always been with your not just your rhyme flows and your style, just your whole image. You've always just done it the way you want to do it, and it shows because there's nobody like a Cam. You know what I'm saying? And I told you that just off record when we kicked it, but and that's why when it came to who do we get to talk about just representing Manhattan, New York, when it comes to the boroughs that has a long legacy of greatness, you're one of them that I definitely would always mention. And I had to, obviously, Teddy Riley just goes so way back, for him to
right,
do the show with Dougie, to do, classical too with Rap's New Generation and all of
right.
that. It's just such a crazy part of dope hip. And Cool Mo D, Go See the Doctor, and How You Like Me Now. Like, before Guy and all the other stuff he did, he was already
Wow.
he has so many classics that really hold down, that holds down, just Harlem and just New York, Manhattan in as a whole. And
Yeah, I'm gonna have to re-listen to this too because listen, I didn't even know he did all that, and
yeah.
Ted's a little older than me, and I grew up. Of course, grew up listening to Rex and Effect when I was 10, 11 years old, and Guy,
Yeah.
of course, but I didn't even know he worked with Kumo D or Dougie Fresh. Those are the rappers that when I was starting to get into it, that was from my area that I used to watch. So
Yeah.
that's good to know.
Yeah, man. And then on top of that, just the fact that you have so many different levels to your career because I don't know if you remember this, but rest in peace to Bloodshed. When I
Yeah,
was doing radio in '92 on BLS, obviously I met Big L through Law Finesse and Showbiz because
right.
Finesse brought him. Finesse was besides being in Gangstar, Law Finesse is the first artist I ever produced in '89, going into '90. So
Wow.
yeah, so we were label mates, and that's how he introduced me to Showbiz and Diamond D and AG, and then I started going to the Bronx a lot because I had just moved there because Guru had a girl he was fucking with, and she let us sublet her apartment in the Bronx on
Wow.
183rd, and that's how I ended
Okay.
up on the West Bronx over near Sedgwick Ave and all that, and that's how I met Dame Dash because he would be going over to see Ski from Original Flavor because they lived down the block
Right.
from us.
Right. Wow. You're putting a lot of pieces together right now.
Yeah, so because of that, Big L used to be around us in the early stages, and then I got the Children of the Corn vinyl. The era we come from, Cam. Promos were a big deal, getting a white label of a
Oh
record.
yeah.
And
Absolutely.
and so I got to meet Bloodshed before he passed. I met Herb McGruff. Mace was the only one I never met. I met you as well,
Right.
and plus I had that one record, which actually was Digger a part of
Yeah.
Children of
Yeah.
the Corn?
Yeah. Digger was our producer. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
100%. You got everything lined up perfectly, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And
Yep.
then like when it comes to just Harlem, just Manhattan and Harlem as a whole, because obviously I big up Dave East as well because the generations had started to change into the '90s generation, and now Dougie Fresh and them are already established on a whole different level, and of course Teddy as well with all the producing he started to do with Today and Blackstreet and just so many records. But like y'all took on another chapter of carrying the torch to really keep not just Harlem but just Manhattan artists just really in the forefront with your movement, even before Dipset. Just what you
Right,
doing, what you
right,
did with back in the day, all the way
right.
into it expanding, and then on top of that, man, like you have so many unique records. Like I forgot you on Late Registration with Kanye.
Yeah.
But before, was that? Yeah, was that before he started doing tracks for you?
No, this was actually, well, it was like during the same time he kind of came out. He kind of got signed like maybe a year after I did, maybe a year and a half. So
Right.
he did beats for me as well. But this is when he's finally got his deal and started working on his album. Maybe about a year, 2 years after he started doing records for me.
Right. And the crazy thing was, I was on tour with Kweli and Common Gangstar was on tour, and maybe about 5 shows in, excuse me, 5 shows in or so, all of a sudden Kanye's on the tour, and I'm like, why is Kanye on the tour with you? He said, yo,
Right,
and he had the Rockefeller chain on, and he said, yo, he said, he gave me my first radio hit with the song with my song Get By, and he didn't charge me any money. I was like, wow, that's dope. So he said, I'm
right,
returning the favor to give him some exposure. And then right
right.
after the show, after he told me that, this is when Ye told me, he said, yo, Dame Dash just signed me to Rockefeller, and he said, I'm gonna make a rap album. I was like, you gonna rap? Because I already knew he did beats. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna rhyme. And he said, yo, I have a trilogy that I'm gonna do. He said it's called College Dropout. The second one's gonna be called Late Registration, and the third one's gonna be called Graduation, and they're all gonna go platinum. I was like, yo, that's a big vision. I hope you do it, man. And god damn it, that motherfucker did it and did it and did it and did it and fucking did it. You know what I'm saying? And
That's all right. That's a
yeah.
fact. A lot of people thought he was bugging, but you got to believe in yourself before anybody believe in you.
That is a fact.
Yeah, man. And then, yo, you know what's one of my records? Well, first of all, since we didn't know we was gonna catch you, we saluted you hard body. We
Oh
played.
man, thank you, man. I'm sorry I'm late, man.
No,
I
it's all
really
good. I sent you an apology first.
yeah, man.
Because I was like, damn,
I caught it, man. Because I rushed out today and just grabbed. I thought I had this phone, but I didn't. But
it's all
I
good.
really, really, really apologize for being late, man. You know, you somebody I look up to and inspired me to do what I'm doing,
Appreciate
and to
it.
see you still doing what you're doing for this long. Because, listen, man, I remember we went. Listen, I like rap, but one of my good friends growing up, I don't remember how old I was, but when y'all first single came out, he was just going crazy off Gangstar, and I was
Right.
like, I'm like, yo, it's hot, but calm down, man. Like I'm talking about 50 times in a row, man, in a row, and then y'all kept going and going. I'm like, yo, and as much as I love Harlem, you guys were just different. It was gangster.
Yeah.
It was still lyrical. It was still smooth. The beats was knocking. I just want to tell you guys, I really appreciate what you've done to inspire
you.
me to do what I do, man.
Thank you,
But
man.
yeah, one person. Before we go on, one person we gotta shout out Rob Bass too, man. You know
Oh
what I'm saying?
yeah!
Yeah.
You
Wow.
know what I'm saying? So we can't leave him out. man.
Goddamn
Definitely.
right. And we Teddy Riley said he actually helped produce Joy and Pain for Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, but I didn't know Rob Bass was from Uptown.
Yeah, man. Yep, he's from Harlem too, man. So
Wow.
I just ain't want to forget about Rob too.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm pulling
Yeah.
that up right now. Yeah, like just to, I mean, for one, it takes two will forever, ever, ever be
Right.
one of the biggest records that it doesn't matter what race you are, where you come from. I've seen rednecks say, I want to rock right now. I'm Rob Bass.
Right. That's a fact. He said Rob could go out at any time and still perform that song. And also, I love Joy and Pain as well, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Teddy got a lot of secret hits, man, that
Yeah.
at least I didn't know about.
Yep. Let me ask you, what made you want to rhyme? I know you used to play ball hard body, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we used to always rap. Me and Mace went to the same high school, and we used to always rap in high school. And it was just a hobby, you know what I'm saying? People used to like it and stuff, but we never really, we really in our brain thought we was going to the NBA.
Right.
So it never really became serious. And then when I went away to college for a year and a half, a semester and a half, I got kicked out, came back. And Mace started taking it more serious. Big L had just got a deal at the time when I came back in like 95, 96.
Right.
He had just got a deal. So we started, taking it more serious because we like, oh snap. We always used to think in our brain, because you got to realize there's such a gap in between Dougie Fresh, in between
Mm-hmm.
Teddy Riley, in between Rob Bates to when Harlem rappers got on. We was like, we got a jinx on us, man. Brooklyn's on, the Bronx is on, Queens is on. When is somebody from Harlem, at least from our generation, getting back on? Because it's like probably a 6, 7, 8 year gap before Big L got
Yeah.
made the table. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we was like, we got, our attitude used to be like, we got the jinx on us. So,
Mm.
Big L was starting to blow, like you said, being with Lord Finesse. He didn't necessarily have the deal yet. And it's funny because me and Big L lived right across the street from each other.
Wow.
Like I know Big L is Lamont. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that's my man. So, I was hearing about his buzz, but every weekend I would go to the east side of Harlem to my grandmother's house and I would rap with this dude named Twan. He was really good. Twan is also on Ages Enough with Big L.
Right.
And, people on the west side of Harlem looked at me as a basketball player, and the east side, they just knew me as basketball too, but I had a little crew I used to rap with. Come to find out, Twan go to school with Big L. And he's like, yo, man, I'm going to tell my man Big L about you. You're about to get a deal. And I'm like, Big L, I know he's from my block. Because, I realize I'm telling somebody, my grandma on the east side of Harlem.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm like, yo, I see Big L all the time. Like, he needs to know you can rap like this. So, when I got back uptown, probably about a week later, I mean, I seen him, but I didn't talk about it. He's like, yo, you rap? And I was like, yeah, I rap. So he told me to rap, and I told him to rap because it wasn't like he's Big L. This is my man.
Right. Right. So it's like, nigga,
It ain't like it ain't like them rapping for Big L. It's like, yo, you rap first, Lamont. I heard you was good too. You know what I'm saying? I've been hearing what's going on. So we rap for each other, and we was just like talking and shit. And then he ended up getting this deal, put me on his album, and he had a decent deal, but I think he didn't. They, at the time, this is what labels wanted you to do. I don't want to speak out of turn for him, just my perspective. But labels did what they wanted you to do, and he came out around that same time as Nas at Columbia,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave him. He had records that I think he wanted to do, but they wanted the singles they wanted.
Yeah.
So it turned out good, but it wasn't great. You know what I'm saying? The one who broke the code for everybody, to be totally honest, or broke the wall down, for be honest, on a international level is Mace, to be totally honest with
Course,
you.
of course.
Yeah, so like when Mace ended up getting kicked out of school or left school too, and he was home. He met a guy named Kuda Love who kind of knew the business, and they was working hard as fuck. And they end up going to Jermaine Dupri's birthday party. They worked for like a year, learning how to do songs and hooks and counting bars. And,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody used to rap. You could spit 100 bars, you're great. It wasn't about hooks and raps for us at the time.
Right.
So he taught them all that, and they went to Jermaine. They spent all their money. Kuda Love and Mace went to Jermaine Dupri's birthday party and searched for a deal because they knew in the 95, I guess, 96, that everybody would be at Jermaine Dupri's birthday party.
Definitely.
Who was somebody.
Definitely.
So
I might have even been there.
Right, exactly. So they went down there with the intentions. They bet everything on themselves, and they went down there and rapped, and they showed out, and Puffy ended up liking them and ended up getting a deal with him. And
Right.
that's how it started breaking down for us to get national attention again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when with Bad Boy, we just waited our turn. I ended up doing a deal with Freeze Records because I just wanted to have a deal.
Wow, you were with Freeze with Will Sokolov?
Will Sokolov.
Wow, I never knew that.
That's a blast from the past.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
I never knew that.
Wow.
Yeah, me and Bloodshed ended up signing with Freeze Records when Mace was with Bad Boy, and I remember Mace being mad at us, like, y'all should have just waited, but we was just trying to keep up with him.
Right, and you have something out.
Yeah, so I don't know how much business you done with Freeze, but Freeze didn't really work out. I can't say nothing bad about them, but they definitely tried to do what they could do. But in the middle of that deal, before we even put a project out, Bloodshed ended up dying in a car accident. And they showed me some love and let me out my deal. And then that's when I just started running around with Mace again because he came and got me after Bloodshed died, and I went on tour. Now it's Mace.
Right.
So I went on tour with him and rode around, and then when we came back off tour, he was like, I'm gonna take you to Biggie's house because he's doing a lot of promo before Biggie died, but he's still on the label. And then when he took me to Biggie's house, I just rapped for Big for like an hour and a half straight.
Damn.
Every beat he put on, I was like, I'm just gonna rap for Big. It didn't matter what it was. I just kept rapping on the whole time. And he was like, all right, you can stop, man. What you want? I want to sign you. So, we ended up doing, after he passed away, I kind of lost contact with his situation, but then I ended up bumping into the Un at the Always Love Big Papa video shoot. They shot that in Harlem.
Okay.
And I was like, yo, I'm gonna do Big One to son. He's like, yo, that's crazy. I've been looking for you. And that's how I ended up getting a record
with
deal.
Entertainment. Wow. Shout
Yeah.
to Charlie Baltimore. I did a couple records for her on the Entertainment,
Yeah.
and
Right.
wherever
Shout
she's
to
at.
Charlie.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
because the commission was supposed to be who? Charlie, Big. Was
Yeah.
Jay part of the commission?
Yeah, Jay was Iceberg Slim.
Mhm.
I'm be saying Caesar Leo, but I remember saying all that, and I think that's what I don't want to talk out of turn again either, but I think that's what Big was trying to put together. Whether I was going to be a part of that or not, I'm not sure,
Mhm.
but I definitely went up there and completed the audition, so to speak.
Word, that's what's up. Yeah, man. I mean, and you know what? And it was a good stepping stone because even though, for one, obviously off of that album, Horse and Carriage was the biggest to jump off to the record. Because let me ask you, wait, because was 357 on Confessions of Fire?
Yep, it's on there as well. Absolutely.
But why wasn't Pull It on there?
We couldn't get the sample clear.
Damn.
We couldn't get the sample clear. Yeah, that was. Trust me.
Woo!
Everybody. Some people we had a lot of return. I remember this when people used to take the album back. A lot of people took it back because they bought the album
for Pull It. Yeah. And the crazy thing now was X out. X wasn't officially out yet, right?
Yeah, Exit came out right before that, but at that time it was like this one Flex, not saying he don't have it today, but this one the bomb was going crazy. So Flex dropped the bomb, it was crazy. So
I got the white label ones, the one where it just has a white sticker and with like and it's typed like a type, not a typewriter font, but it just says Pull It. That's it.
Yep, it was. But DMX had Get At Me Dogs out at the same time. Then I had 357. So when Pull It came out, it was good for both of us.
Yeah, because y'all were neck and neck, and on top of that,
right.
It's one of the hard, and it's just hard gutter, just New York gutter shit. You know what I'm saying? And to this day, I mean, any DJ that's official will have Pull It in a Serato. You're an idiot if you don't.
Right, man. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, man. I used to love Pull It, and again, 355. You were getting burned on both sides, but that Pull It just really put you where you need to be way before and then after you moved on from On, it just seemed like out of nowhere, the Dipset movement just became. Like Wu-Tang, even like Gangstar Foundation, with us having Group Home and J. Rue the Damage and Suge.
Man, y'all had it, bro. I'm big fans of everybody, man.
Yeah, man. But that goes with y'all too. There was a lot of dope crews and dips. It's like aside from your solo records like Old Boy and Come Home With Me and even I Really Mean It.
Thank you, bro.
But then y'all did that Diplomat's album. The first, again, as a DJ doing radio, I'd get a lot of promos. And you know what's one of my favorite records that I thought y'all did was that I'm Ready joint. Oh my God.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Basically what happened, so after I put out my first album, so basically distribution was through Epic. And I don't know what problems him and Epic went through, but he ended up getting out the deal, losing the deal, however you want to put it.
Right.
But in the contract, Epic got to take whatever artists they wanted from his label, and they, contractually, I ended up having to go to Epic by default. So my second album, which had "What Me in the World of You" as a single, was on Epic, and it was doing okay, but it wasn't doing what like my peers were doing, and I kind of was frustrated by that.
Right.
And at this time, this is when Rockefeller and Dame Dash is super duper up, and I also grew up with Dame Dash as well. And we wasn't speaking about something silly at the time for about 2-3 years, and I was like, yo, man, I gotta give Dame a call. I really, really need help.
Right.
Getting out this situation. He's up right now. And to make a long story short, I just made it real uncomfortable to Epic, and to the point where it was like, Cam's gonna be a headache. We ain't got to get
cut him loose.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, we ain't got to get into too much detail about what happened, but they ended up letting me go. And I remember Dane was going to Epic and basically telling them, look, this isn't gonna stop. You might as well let him out.
Right. Yeah.
And I ended up getting out. And then when I got to Rockefeller, I kind of got burnt my first 2 albums. I ain't gonna say unburnt me, but I would say Epic they did, but I learned the business at that time as well. I learned where marketing dollars should go, or radio money should go, or who's doing promo and how much are we spending. My first time I didn't want to, not say I didn't want to, I didn't learn the business because I was just happy to have a record deal. It isn't the technology that these kids and everybody is, not just kids, all of us have now.
Right.
To where you could promote yourself and put out your own songs and show your lifestyle, man. To get a record deal, you have to work hard, and it was amazing to have one.
100%.
So I was just so happy about having a record deal. I was like, man, I don't care. I'll sign 50% of my publishing away. I don't give a fuck. I got a record deal. So that second album came around. I was like, hold the fuck up, man. Y'all playing games with myself. So when I got to Rockefeller, I learned the building. You know what I'm saying? I said, okay, you're doing radio, you're doing promotion, you're doing marketing. We all gonna be best friends. And I got cool with everybody at Rockefeller. But what also helped me out is that Def Jam was in the same building as Rockefeller, which was the parent company, or not parent company. They had a joint venture with Def
Rockefeller,
Jam, right? So I started getting cool with Kevin Liles and Julie Greenwald and Leo Cohen and Mike Tyson. So I said, okay, I got the label, but I'm gonna go to the parent company, or pardon me, I don't want to. Dame hear this, he gonna go crazy saying if I keep saying the parent company. With their partners and say, look, we all gonna work on one accord. So I had Rockefeller, I have Mike Kaiser and Kevin Lyles.
Shout to Kaiser, shout to Kevin Lyles, man. Shout to Leo. They did really good by me too when I had my deal up there with Teflon from MOP, and they, even when I said, yo, I need another 40,000, is that okay? They were like, come get the check tomorrow. They weren't like, what do you need it for? Show proof that you've been recording. They just said, come get the check.
Yeah, I tell anybody who signed off with me getting more than $1 million is cool with me. If you gave me $1 million, because I sometimes old artists go on rampages against these guys, and and at the end of the day, listen, I know somebody, I made 20 million, but I should have made 40. Look, you gave me an M. I'm gonna make it happen. I'll make it twerk, man. So they never got nothing come out. No problem with me. So the moral of the story is I was cool at Rockefeller. I knew who was running marketing at Def Jam, and I just got cool. And because I knew the music was good, I just had to let everybody know. Look, I just came out of a fucked up situation. I know what I need to do, and I know where the dollars need to go. I know how much the deal is worth. I know where we need to spend it at. And they was impressed by that. So I'm not saying they ever was going to get over on me, but I'm just saying I'm going to let y'all know I'm going to be watching, not because I don't think y'all do a good job, just because I just came from someplace that hadn't did a good job.
Right. That's what's up, man. Yeah. Well, the thing is, you were very consistent with all your releases when you got on Rockefeller, and just through that whole Def Jam Rockefeller machine. Obviously, you were able to now bring the rest of the peoples in, because you got to start with the person that's already in the door, which I would consider you. And then not only that, when I look at Diplomatic Immunity album, you know, when it features Joel Santana and Jimmy Jones, yeah, you know,
Right.
it wasn't Jim Jones, and it was
Right.
Jimmy Jones. Plus,
Right.
I knew Jim because out of the Gangstar Foundation family, my man H Stacks, he was Steve in the barbershop because he's a barber over at Jerry's Den. So,
Wow, Jerry's crazy.
yeah, the one right down 25 in Amsterdam. So I used to go there a lot to get my hair cut from Steve, being even though he's from Brooklyn, but I'd
Right.
always go there, and I became a regular there. And Jim used to come in there and get his hair cut. You know what I'm saying? Way
Yep, that's
back.
a fact. That's
Yeah.
a fact.
Hmm.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, when we got to, like I said, when we got over there, we knew what we had to do. Um, but a lot of people. I tell people this. It's like almost telling people who invented the toilet because you don't give a fuck. You're gonna go take a shit. You got to take a shit. But we were the first rappers to actually have mixtapes because all the DJs had mixtapes, and we looked up and we was on everybody's mixtape, whether it was Ron G, K Slave, God bless the dead, was emerging at the time. And grew up listening to Doo-Wop and Kid Capri and everybody else. And he's like, damn, we on everybody's, whoever was hot at the time, we on all their mixtapes. And I'm like, we got enough music to do our own mixtape. So we ended up doing the first album mixtape. It's not really the big deal today because everybody like, oh, go get my mixtape. But nobody had done it before us outside of DJs. So that's how we was able to get Joel's a deal. That's how Jim went off the couch by himself and was able to get a deal because we was just feeding the street with music. Man, it's like, hold up, you're giving me all this music. I remember Dame telling me, Cam, what is this shit I'm hearing about in the street, the mixtape? I say, yeah, we got to get the buzz going because, even with Diplomats, I bought them the Dame. I bought the idea to Dame. Dame said, you just got here. Wait a minute. Let's get your shit together. But Dame, not saying Dame ain't in tune, but Dame was so busy and had so much going on, he wasn't tuned into what we was doing in the streets. So I went to Kevin Lyles and said, yo, I got Joel's, I got the Diplomat, I got Jim, this is what I want to do. And Kevin Lyles loved it. He was like, yo, it wasn't even like a big thing. It was like a 20-minute meeting. I was already in the building, played the music for him, bought Joel's. He said, let's do the deal. Dame heard about it. I told Dame. Dame got mad and flipped out and went crazy. Like, yo, Kevin, you trying to steal this deal from me? I'm like, Dame, don't fuck this up, man. Because I came to him first. He told me to wait. You know what I'm saying? So, make a long story short, Kev was cool. Kev didn't give a fuck. He's like, Dame, if it goes through Def Jam or Rockefeller, either way is fine with me, man. I get paid the same thing. I make a salary. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
So we end up doing that deal through Rockefeller, Def Jam, and then they want to wait on Jim, but Jim said, fuck that, I'm not waiting. And he ended up going to politic him a deal at Koch Records while we was doing our thing at Def Jam. So we had distribution at Koch and then did a joint venture with Rockefeller Def Jam as well.
That's what's up, man. But it's just so dope how not only did you finesse another situation, again, you've now Wu-Tanged your crew, because as big as Wu-Tang is, so is Dipset. You know what I'm saying? Like, the world knows y'all.
Listen, yeah, no, I appreciate it. Listen, man, I'm not going to even sit here and act like I did something incredible, which, I mean, it's hard to gather talent and mix personalities and see who works with who. But this is, I watched Tribe Called Quest. I watched the Juice Crew. I watched Cash Money. I watched Master P and No Limit. I watched Rockefeller. I watched Rough Riders. I watched Murder Inc. And we caught that movement era to when where they want to see movements. So I was
that's
like,
what was selling was movements. Yep.
Right. So at the same time, I'm saying to myself, look, all the artists that I ever had, I was cool with. Even with Jim, we taught Jim how to rap. Jim wasn't a rapper. Jim took it and ran with it, and he sold it and then became good at it. But I was like, look, if you're gonna be around, this is what we do. This is what we about to do. In the process about to, get our deals. We like everybody around. My whole thing always was, I want to try and make you some money so you ain't got to ask me for money.
All right
So,
then.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
even my cousin Duke, the God, he ended up being the A&R. He got 4 albums out the deal, and
Mm.
he can't rap or do beats. You know what I'm saying? So he got 4 albums.
Yeah.
Shout out to
But,
Duke the God.
Word.
yeah,
Getting his heat on.
that's a fact. So that was always my thing, making sure everybody around me had something to do or a job to do, and just waking up in the morning, not being lazy, not sitting around, making sure that we go get beats. But because that was the thing, we got the Rockefeller, we really didn't sleep. We would go to the studio till 4, 5, 6 in the morning,
Right.
go home, take an hour or 2 nap, then go to the office and Def Jam, make sure all the work we put in last night get recognized.
As it should be. And the thing is, the work was done. And then,
Right.
like I said, your consistency with having records like Old Boy and fucking Down and Out, and I
Yeah.
really, I really mean it, and just even Suck It or Not, like Suck It or Not, when that shit comes on to this very day, and chicks, when the girls
Word.
lose it, the fella, the dudes, you know how we gonna be with a record like that, but
Yeah.
the
Yep,
girls
absolutely.
love it.
Yeah, the girls love it. That's, depending on where I'm at or what state is in, I close the show with that sometimes. Most of the time, 50% of the time, because that's one of the
Yo,
biggest records
you know,
I got.
you know what I gotta say, not to cut your wisdom. When y'all did the verses, man, I remember when Sucker and Not came on. One thing I loved about the whole verses was when y'all's classics came on both sides, on D Block and Dipset. The whole building sang everything. You know how you kind of stop and just aim the mic and let them say the word and finish the line.
Right.
And not only that, you could hear the crowd saying it. It wasn't where it was low. They were saying it with full force on both sides when y'all dropped y'all's hits and on every
Yeah.
single song, from Hey Ma to you know what I'm saying, to everything. These motherfuckers, Dipset Anthem, everything. They were fucking screaming the lyrics to both. That was one of the most historical to me. That was almost like the Ether takeover, just in a crew instead of just 2 MCs going at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. The Lions, let's get, everybody know the Locks kicked the ass, but it was a great night for both sides.
On
definitely.
both sides, man. It was the world. Certain things they say the world is watching. The world was watching that.
Yeah, that's
Man.
a fact, man.
Man,
That's a fact.
and y'all, and it was fun, man. All the shit talking and everything. That goes with it.
Yeah, that's part of the game, man. Look, before and after, all of us was cool, man. As soon as it was over, we all called each other, fucked with each other, did a couple records that we was thinking about doing,
Right.
and it was love, man. And like I said, if anybody deserved it that night, if it had to be anybody, I'm glad it was the Locks, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Well-
It was so entertaining, and it was, the whole thing was like it's just like barbershop talk, man. When you go to barbershop talk in the hood, everybody talk about just the latest shit of who's whack, who could rhyme, who could do this. Every time I used to go to Jerry's Den, or even when I used to go to Culture Trends, my man Claude, when Jerry's closed off of 25th, I used to go on Amsterdam and 25th on right across from Jimbo's. You know what Jimbo's is at right there.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Oh yeah, that was my everyday right there to get them Jimbo's burgers, man.
Man, you talking about the original Jimbo's, because they franchise now. About
Yep.
That's the original, right
Yep.
there. Too.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
And so when I'd go, this is around the time the ciphers started to be it was just starting to be the new thing at BET, and every time I'd walk in the shop, they'd go, "Oh, Premier's here. All right, now ask him," and I'm like, "Ask me what? Yo, who killed it on such and so? So and so." And I just love. I still like to just go to shop in the hood to
Right.
just to even get that energy, because it's fun, man.
Yeah, it's part of the game. Listen, it's the same thing with sports. At the end of the day, they'll say who's better, LeBron or Mike or whatever. But it's no different with music, and it ain't just bars neither. They'll talk about who got more money. Listen, that come with any urban neighborhood. You gonna talk some shit, especially Harlem. No, it go a little different in Harlem. I was just telling somebody, maybe about 2 weeks ago, I said, yo, man, I'll be sitting around thinking about the shit niggas used to say each other. You have to be really, really tough elephant skin to deal with a lot of that shit growing
Yeah,
up, man. Because it
yeah.
was no big deal.
That's a
That shit
fact.
bounced right off you, man.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I just saw I saw Jalen Rose. I know you love basketball.
Yeah. Jalen's my man. My guy.
I saw him do his 5 classic players if he had to put together his 5. I'm gonna tell you his 5, and then I just wanted to ask you more of the newer generation, or even just who you like. Period.
Right.
He said his point guard would be Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
His shooting guard would be Michael Jordan. His small forward would be LeBron.
Damn.
His forward would be Larry Bird, and his center would be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
On.
Yeah.
All right,
I actually seen that.
Yeah.
On Instagram. Yeah.
Anybody, any generation, if you had to put together your 5, who would you put?
I would agree with him with the first 3. I would put Magic, Michael Jordan, LeBron, but then I would take Larry Bird. I come off the bench. We're gonna put Tim Duncan there, and then it's a battle out of because I never see. I would put Shaq there, but it's always an argument for me because I never really seen him play. But the accomplishments that Bill Russell have are just unparalleled.
Oh, wow.
Any because
Wow.
I never really got to see Bill Russell play. But if you got 11 championships and 2 of them you were coaching and playing at the same time, that's crazy. Like, we don't even know nobody with 10 championships. 11 championships in 13 years is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And 2 of the and how do you coach and play? Because how do you take yourself out?
That's true. Yo, rest in peace to Bill Russell, man.
Yeah, R.I.P. to Bill Russell, man. So I always say Shaq, but I always throw Bill Russell in there because I didn't get to see him play. But I'm like, listen, man, these stats are just ridiculous from when we get 11 championships in 13 years as well. So, I'm gonna put Shaq with a Bill Russell asterisk next to it.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Did you still ball from time to time?
Not lately, man. You know what's crazy is that I was so good that when I was young, that people that's still my age are still like working out every day. They want revenge, and I refuse to play until I get back in shape. So I'm about to get back in shape. I don't like. So there's so many people like, can't play me now, and I'm like, man, it don't matter now. But I'm so competitive that I say I'm gonna sneak and get back in shape to where I'm gonna bust it back when they not thinking about it.
There you go. Hey, I gotta also mention this, man, and then we'll wrap it up. One of my favorite records that you did, man, was motherfucking Losing Weight.
Oh, man, thank you so much, man. That's probably one of my favorites as well also, man.
We played it earlier. I was sitting here rapping this shit because your verse, you and P, like I said, we played all of these right before you told me you was good to go, because we were like, you know what? If we can't get Cam on the phone, because again, I sent you an apology first because I felt bad that we went 3 hours instead of an hour, and which again, Teddy's fucking history is that long.
Listen, you was telling the 2-3 minutes you told me about what he did. I didn't know any of that. So definitely.
Yeah, man. But Losing Weight, I remember the first time I heard it, I was at a Rock and Soul where all of us DJs go to cop vinyl and everything. And
yo, P, I gotta come just hang out with you, because you taking me back to a time. I'm like, I need to tap into that part of my memory with what you bringing up, man. Jerry's Den alone is crazy.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, but and we talked about we got to get some records in. That's way overdue, and that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen.
Ready, man. I will be 100% ready. But you were saying you walked in the Rock and Soul. You was telling me.
Yeah, and they used to have these bootleg vinyls that and they'd be top quality. And when I saw Losing Weight on there, and it just said Cam, and it's written bootleg. It just said Cam and Prodigy. And so I was like, man, what the hell is this? And they had a turntable in there where you could blast it, and they had a dope system in there. and that shit came on. And who did the beat on that?
Digger did that beat. Digger has a
Wow.
beat. Yep. Yes, sir. He
Well
did that.
done. Damn,
Yeah,
that beat
man.
is
That was
dope. That beat
yeah.
is
I
so
remember
dope.
when I remember recording it. That's when we was doing my second album, and I was like, I was a big Mobb Deep fan. I really blame Mobb Deep for getting me kicked out of college. They part of the reason I'm doing what I'm doing
Hey,
now.
shit
Cause
was gangster shit to the
yeah,
fullest.
nah, listen, man. I remember when I had went away to this, and in '94 I ended up going to college,
Right.
and in Texas because I played basketball, like I was saying. So I ended up getting hurt, and I didn't play my first year. And just when Bone Thugs and Harmony first came out, so for 4 months I was Bone Thugs and Harmony out. Not saying I don't fuck with Bone Thugs and Harmony, but it was just everything was Bone Thugs. They was a new group, they was popping, and everything was Bone Thugs and Harmony. I was like, fuck, this is dope, but it was no New York radio. But I learned about great artists too. I learned about 8 Ball, MJ and G.
Ooh, I love 8 Ball and MJG,
Yeah,
man.
and then
Love them.
yeah, UGK, and I'm like,
Yeah.
because I'm like, who is these niggas? These niggas are hype. But the more the story is, I ended up coming home for winter break, and Shook Ones was out,
Mm.
and I was like, and I'm 3-4 months of listening to Bone Thugs, and come back to New York,
Hear that.
from straight from middle. No, I wasn't in a big city. I was in a small town, Corsicana, Texas, and to come home to New York and hear Shook Ones, man, I lost my mind, man. I went back to school. Shook Ones out. Fuck everything. New York is in the house. I had too much time on my hands because I like I said, I didn't play because I got hurt, and I just went crazy out there because Shook Ones was in my brain. I recorded it. I would listen to it every day, and that shit just led me on the road to destruction, to be totally honest.
Wow.
I remember doing what I did in college and getting in the car and playing Shook Ones driving home. And I was like,
I heard that. Yeah,
crazy.
man.
So
Yeah,
when I got a chance to do a song with P, with Prodigy, moving forward, I was really excited to do that. I remember being in the studio. I did my verse, and he was in there for like 2 hours, and he'd be like, I'll be back tomorrow. And I was like, what the fuck you mean you be back tomorrow? And I was like, I wanted to hear P shit right then and there. And I was
Right.
like, damn, maybe he ain't feeling it. But he came back the next day and knocked that shit out.
Man, y'all were a perfect balance. The beat, the attitude, even the tone, because you do different tones. You'll do a little more of an amp tone like you did on that, or even like you did on Pull It, or
Right,
and then, but then you'll do the calm, laid back, cool cam, like. Dude, and like I said, you're definitely part of the we call it keeping our Fonzie on, because you made Pink fly, like you didn't give a fuck what anybody thought, and you rocked it the way where all of a sudden now everybody wear pink. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Yep, definitely. At the end of the day, when you not just the world, but especially New York, man, you got to try to figure a way to stand out, and I'm confident who I am. I knew the music was good, and I knew I dressed fly, but sometimes you got to do one or two things to stand out.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? We gonna rock this in Fashion Week, and we gonna do this. I remember arguing with certain friends. They said, Cam, you taking this shit too far. I don't think you're gonna be able to pull this off. I said, the music good. The girls like me. What's the problem?
Right.
We're gonna see what happens. So
and you know yourself.
Yeah, I bet on myself. Like I'm telling you, like, because it used to be like, not saying that I only like pink like a costume and then I wear whatever, but like that's the point when I was like when it wasn't nothing going on, I'll come out with a pink polo or something like that, and my niggas would be like, Cam, cut the shit out, man. There ain't no TV today. This, that, and that. I said, nobody gonna see us. I said, but at the end of the day, it ain't nothing to worry about because a lot of people did pink, but I made it fashionable.
Absolutely.
Man, so
from the minks to just even the like I said, now when you look at even just all the current stuff, think it's just normal now. Like it ain't like nobody's like you did it where it was it was bold to do.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like you say, we're talking about now 2022, everything's a go. You know,
Uh-huh.
this is a time when you make
Right.
still
Yeah.
be like,
Right.
oh, Cam like Manny, what is he doing wearing pink? This, you know, you could get scrutinized if I wasn't the person that I was.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
even though niggas still try, whatever. But like you said, it's about not going back to not caring what niggas think.
Yeah.
I tell
Right.
people all the time, like, you know, not to jump off topic, and then it's the same thing, like with a new or like with Little Baby when he was at South by Southwest, he was wearing a pamper, but he had good music. After his shit popped off, you ain't never see a nigga no pamper. He wanted to get niggas attention for 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to step out the box and
True indeed.
just different, and then after that, you know, let the music speak for itself. Because you know
Absolutely.
that's another thing. P, I'm pretty good. It's worse than you for me because you're a producer. You're a guy who does music. People want your opinion. You put albums out. So I know you already know, like, especially with me, you know how many people come to me like, yo, put me on off from Harlem. The music don't even necessarily always be good. It's just the
Right.
fact that niggas, like, I'm from Harlem, put me on like I'm the mayor. So niggas want that stamp. And I'm like, yo, the music is trash, bro. I can't just put you on because you from
Yeah.
Harlem.
Yeah.
You know
Nah,
what I'm saying?
we all get that still. Still.
Right.
Yeah, still.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I met a guy over near where I'm at the lab, and he was like, "Yo, Premier," he said, "What you doing right here?" I said, "I got a studio." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Yo, man, I rhyme too," and I was like, "Word." I said, yeah. I said, "You follow me on Instagram?" He goes, No, I don't." I'm like, "So nigga, you already in the wrong spot to tell me about how you want me to check out your shit." 'Cause he's trying to put his phone in my ear, and I told him I don't listen like that because I said, "How am I gonna hear the bass? How am I gonna hear it thump?" I was like, "Are you on the gram?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "All right, so DM me and I'll take a look." But
Right.
it's the fact that like you ain't following me, but you want me to check your shit
Right.
out. You already
Right,
off
yeah.
to
Then they want you to stop what you doing
yeah.
and listen to they shit. Like, yo, they don't know if you on way to a meeting. They don't know if you got to go to the bathroom.
Yep.
If they want you to stop doing what they doing. And then I'm so glad you said that because it's a dude. My friends, we argue about shit like this all the day. He would be so mad at you. I ain't gonna hold you because he would because this nigga's mad. He's one of these niggas, P, that he DM'd me that they took the last payphone out in New York City. They're stealing everything from us. Like he's one
Wow.
of these niggas. So I can't wait to tell him that you told somebody to DM you to play their music. He gonna be so mad. He one of these niggas that still got a CD. I tell him that you gotta get USBs, man.
Yeah.
Things like that. We missing the essence.
Yep.
But you know, I told him that time ain't coming back. You gotta keep up with the
Yeah.
times, man.
Pass
I
them other
cannot
yeah,
wait to
people
call and tell him you told me that.
yeah, people pass out thumb drives now, like, yo, here's my thumb drive,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
yeah.
You get the shit into the car and listen to it. The car don't got a CD player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, man. When you did Oh Boy, did you automatically know before it released, like, yo, when this drops, this is going to be one of my bangers that's going to take the shit over in the clubs?
Yeah, kind of, to be honest, kind of. So the way Old Boy came about was we would be in so when we got the deal at Rockefeller, we would go to Baseline. Like we
Right.
abused the studio. When nobody was in it, we was in it. You know, because
Yep. Shout to Just
being
Blaze.
Jay, being with Jay, Bleak, Beanie Siegel, they had authority to the studio first. Being that we just got there, but we didn't miss a beat. Whenever it was free studio, we was in there.
Right.
So it was a beat CD. It was a beat CD sitting on the counter, and Old Boy was on it.
Wow.
And it was sitting there, and we played, and we was like, leave that shit alone, man, because it wasn't ours.
Right.
So we would leave it there, keep coming in. For about 3 weeks, that CD, nobody touched it. So Jewels is like, yo, man, what the fuck? I'm gonna be honest with you. Jewels put the battery in my back. He's like, yo, what we gonna do, man? This shit, nobody fucking with the CD killer.
Still sitting there.
Just sitting there. I'm like, let's give it a couple more days. So we gave that shit a couple more days. Was like, man, Jewel was like, man, fuck that, man. Nobody give a fuck about this shit. And I was like, fuck it, let's just do it.
Load it up. Let's record it.
Because we kept listening to the beat every time we went in the studio. We like, this shit is hot, man. We gotta fuck with it. But I didn't want, like I said, we was just getting there. And nobody was fucking with it. So we
Right.
was like, yo, we gave that, P, that shit was sitting there for about a month, and we just couldn't take it no more.
And
So
you know, what's so crazy is just as soon in any club, I'm just gonna just play this one piece. As soon as they hear
Just Blaze.
right there, the
yep,
crowd's already
exactly.
losing it before the fucking beat drops any further. You know what I'm saying?
That's how it went. Like, cause Just Blaze is the beat. So I was telling me and Just, we get into it all the time because I said, Just, I made you hot. Nobody was shouting you out on these records, man.
And you gave it to him right before the whole beat drop.
He did like 3 beats from me when I got there. I was like, I'm gonna shout you out. Then it's Just Blaze and the Blazettes after that, man. So
yeah, man, I really mean it.
Blaze.
Yeah, I really mean it. He killed that.
Yeah, he killed the Rock with me, Beans, and Bleak.
Yeah.
He did Welcome to New York City with me and Jay-Z.
Damn, I wish Beans would be able to get his breathing and his voice back the way he had it, man, because he's such an incredible fucking artist. He has so many banging records, and I just be like, damn, man, I feel so bad for him because he deserves to still be able to cook up some dope ass records with how he was prior to when he got shot and his oxygen and everything just doesn't kick out the same way. And I love Beans, man, because
man, Beans one of the best lyricists that we had, man. Definitely.
And his bark, his growl, he looked like he sound. He looked like
and that's exactly correct. He definitely, his whole premise and lyrics and vocals, all that goes together.
Yeah,
man.
he's the Broad Street bully, man. I love Beans, man. Shout to Beans, shout to Freeway. Rest in peace to both the Freeway, his son and his daughter, man. And shout to Bleak. That's my dude right there. Shout to the whole Rock, man. I wish they never split up. We never thought it was gonna happen to them. We just didn't. But shout to Dane, shout to Big, shout to Jay. I was there in the beginning of it when they even signed the paper with Reggie Osei's. He was part of the lawyer team that put their paperwork together to become Rockefeller, the label, the company, and I was there. This is right when Reasonable Doubt's just being discussed to be recorded. The good D&D days and all that. So to be around all that and see them develop and grow and turn into just all multimillionaires and have comfortable lives and become one of the best things that ever happened in the culture. Dame really built a dope thing. I used to see him walk his dogs and shit up on University over when I lived in the Bronx, so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was over by Ski House. Absolutely.
Yeah, shout to Tone Hooker too, man.
Yeah, shout to Tone, man.
That's
Definitely.
my
Those
guy.
my guys too.
Yeah, word up. Yo, Cam, man, thank you for the calling. I was like, damn, if I can get 15 minutes out of here, we got an hour or so. That 15 turned into that's like cooking work. That 15, I turned the 15 to an hour.
Listen, anytime you listen, bro, I promise you, man. I don't talk to nobody. It's a couple people that I love, and you're one of the people that I do love. So anytime you need me for anybody, because you made it possible for me to be doing what I'm doing and to see you still doing it at the high level you're still doing it at, like
Absolutely.
when you first came in the game, or even better. I salute you and I appreciate you. I'm only a phone call away if you ever need me for anything.
Sure enough. Yeah, and I'll reach out to you soon about us rocking it and getting in the lab and cooking up some work, man. It'll be fun, and it's gonna be good for the streets and everybody that loves what we both do individually and what we're gonna do together is gonna be just as dope.
I'll be waiting on you, bro. Thank you so much.
Yes. Let's get that round of applause for Cameron.
Yeah.
Woo! Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yo, much love to you. Travel safe wherever you at in the world, and we will be in touch. I owe you a call.
Nah, I'll be waiting on you, Pete. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. My brother.
Peace, King.
Love.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Before we close out, listen. I'm gonna get 3 records in. We're gonna close out.
I got Up and Down 8th, Up and Down Lennox, Up and Down 8th, Up and Down Lennox.
You fucking say mob style?
Up and Down 8th.
Shout to
Up and Down Lennox.
Shout to fucking Tone Capone.
Word up.
Shout to Gangsta Lou.
Word.
Shout to Whip Wop. Yo, if you don't know anything about fucking real hard